What did the youth of the 1980s have that the youth nowadays don't have? I was 14 in 1980, and I wouldn't have traded the decade for any that came after that. Great movies, great music, no cell phones, road trips were fun and real adventurous. We had road atlas maps, and traveled like pirates. Never mind MapQuest D. No internet to tell us what we were going to be seeing on our trips, or where to go eat that Yelp gave 4 stars. Real adventure. Trips to the library, spending all afternoon looking for new books to read, and having whole afternoons with a picnic lunch in the park, to go read them, under a tree somewhere, without scores of people around. I think most people felt like they were in a much bigger world with a lot of blissful unknowns. We are much more connected today and very influenced by a lot of underlying technology whether you realize it or not. There's not much blissful unknowns anymore and the world seems much smaller and less magical. Worst of all, there's just less hope also that comes with it. It's a sad realization when you can see more of the horizon, the magic fades, and the reality of hopelessness sets in to stay. A group of neighborhood kids that all hung out together and all watched out for each other. We didn't need babysitters back then, we just all had each other's back and came back home before it got dark out. Ride our bikes for miles, made forts in woods that we probably weren't supposed to be in, swam in creeks without adult supervision, and drank from the garden hose. Best childhood ever! We had the last great childhood in my opinion. Everyone was outside, community pools, front yard barbecues with the entire neighborhoods playing together. School events most everyone attended. Oh, all the while never giving a single thought about someone shooting you in the face. We were more worried about Russians parachuting in than anything else. If you were bored you'd hop on your bike and ride around the neighborhoods in your town until you saw someone you knew outside playing and that would be who you hung out with that day. No calling or planning or having parents with you. You just sort of wandered around and if you didn't find anybody you'd just go home and the day would suck. Real answer: free run of the neighborhood, unsupervised playgrounds. Cool bugs to find and be grossed out about. The bugs are dying. Cloud. Sweet bike jumps in the middle of the road made out of plywood and other children. Comedy answer: diarrhea. Well, the only real predators I had to worry about as a kid were weirdos and vans. Rare and fucked up friends of my parents extraordinarily common. Seems like the kids today have to contend with a lot more internet-based predation. The freedom to go outside and play any day from 3 p.m. to 8 p.m. knowing there would guaranteed be 2 other kids out ready to play something. It's the worst social change and so under-discussed. I have no idea how to fix it. Sadly, $1 that is worth something and jobs that allow them to buy a home, or live comfortably. I believe we will see the end of single-family homes in our lifetime because of how unaffordable they will be. Adulthood. You were basically an adult as a teenager. There was no teenager then. You were a child and then an adult, and got land and a farm and a wife or husband. Or became a spinster at 16. The freedom of going outside and being expected back by dark, with no supervision. The crazy, dangerous, wild shit we got up to. With very little pictorial or video evidence. Reasons to go to the library. As a kid I went every week for books and research, as well as using the study Carrel. Now we have Google, Kindles, and note apps. Chicks and B they went outdoors and had a life. Also, near-death experiences from riding in pickup beds and in the back of station wagons. The freedom of roaming the neighborhood all day. We organized giant football games and freeze tag with all the kids from the next couple of streets over. Have teachers and other adults happily not care about seeing signs of abuse, neglect. And the awesome way we all knew who the neighborhood pervert was. Privacy. In the sense that their every move was tracked and their communications weren't sifted through by state agencies and large corporations. Self-reliance and an adventurous spirit. Asking for forgiveness instead of permission. A try it and find out attitude. A make your own attitude. The balls to approach and converse with a member of the opposite sex about their attraction to them instead of just sliding into DMs. We had days on the green, huge concerts, we had good drugs. We had no cell phones. But always managed to hook. It was great. Freedom from phones. The possibility of a better future. The world seemed a lot bigger and more exciting and open-ended. Adventure. My parents used to let me ride my bike to towns that were miles away. Helicoptering was rare in the 80s. Patience. For the phone to ring. For a song to come on the radio. For a movie to be available at Blockbuster. Discipline. Free of internet and phones so they could enjoy and socialize with other kids. Roaming the neighborhood. Social skills. because people will always socialize, but socializing online is a completely different experience. MTV showing actual music videos and learning about the really cool bands through their 120 minutes show. Time and space away from their friends and drama at school without the 24-hour cycle of social media. Fashion weeks, imagine the fashion shows that used to happen there. Everything is new and elegant. Untatted skin? Hope in the future? Unironic mullets? A Walkman? Unshaven genital areas? Etc. The ability to do really stupid shit and not have to worry about it ending up on the internet. A boombox bungee corded to the handlebars of their bike, and a huge case of cassette tapes. Confidence to knock on their mate's door, speak to an adult, and ask if they are coming out. Well, they have money enough to buy a house, a car, and enough money to settle down. Freedom, being able to walk alone at night as a woman, no social networks, etc. The freedom to go out and about without someone tracking your location. Summer jobs. Seems like no one is willing to hire teenagers anymore. Unprotected sex. And it was all Zoumi. The house they made it on a payment from working at a supermarket. Waiting for the moment when photos or mail will arrive. Hairspray that could keep your style safe in a tornado. Tribes. How dare you like other music except X kind?